I think that hero sections on a homepage without navigation are really sucky for people who actually want to come to a business, see what's there, and start to explore and find the information they're looking for. In this video, I'm going to show you a solution I came up with for a recent project, which, if I just reflect this, refresh it even, we still have a hero section that looks beautiful, image-based, and there's a nice bit of animation. But I've brought the navigation into the bottom of the page there, and as we scroll, the transparency changes, so it actually becomes a header that is effective as you scroll down the rest of the home page. And the best thing is that this header is exactly as it would appear on every other page on the site. So use the timestamps if you want to jump straight to how I started to build this out. If this interests you, for a bit more yap on it and you want to see why I thought about it, continue watching from this point. Often in web design, there is a bit of a struggle between the aesthetic design and what you should really call conversion design, which is that the user experience of somebody coming along to the website and knowing instantly what your site is about and where they can go to get the information they are looking for. That is actually the most important aspect of small, local to medium business design. And often when you start a new project, you might go off to Dribble or Awards and look for all of these, look for a bit of inspiration, but it's often a load time whilst some JavaScript animation is coming up onto the screen, and then navigation is hidden behind a hamburger menu, or even worse, you have to scroll down the page and just try and find what you're looking for in the story. And these are beautiful and they're so skillful, but it's not how we should base most of our designs. I was recently working on a project and I'd like to show you the solution I came up with just to bring a bit of balance into it, and perhaps it would be useful for you. So I experienced the typical hero section homepage. I'd like it to be quite uncluttered, but where do I put the navigation issue? This is obviously just a little mock-up of that project. It's just similar in design, but I had a central logo and a small animation as somebody comes along to the page, so it all just comes into view. It looks pretty nice, that's great. But I did not want to have this navigation and the logo on the top bar because it kind of interrupted with the initial presentation of the business. So the next thing that somebody might do is place the navigation in a hamburger menu, but that just irritated me because I felt, well, now that's a click away, and also it's a function away, so somebody has to go there in order to find out what's behind that button. That wasn't sitting well with me. So the decision I made was to have the header at the bottom. The header at the bottom seems a bit odd, but actually I felt that it was a really good solution because we still had the impression and the focus of this section. We had the presentation of the business, and then if you just notice, the header after a bit of a delay just comes along into view, non-imposing, but there nonetheless. And from this point, people can just click onto this page, it would load to this one, and you see that we've got the consistent header. That's the decision I made with this particular website, and I thought I'll remember this for the future. I quite like the navigation being on the bottom, and if we scroll, the header here actually changes transparency, so it becomes just like the headers on the rest of the pages, just like this one, although I've changed the menu a little bit there. So I hope you can see that it's a solution. It works for my project, and I really like that I've now got the navigation as it should be for the rest of the scroll on the home page. So let's just quickly show you how to do this. The first thing I did was actually create the header as it should appear on the rest of the site. Once I've created the header, I then need to add conditions to it. So going to display conditions, it's across the entire site, but with the exception, as you might expect, of excluding the singular, but obviously I've highlighted a particular page for this tutorial, but this will be singular pages front page, and then you save and close that. So now this header will appear on every other page on the site, and it's sticky and very wonderful, but it won't appear on the front page. So now we need to have the header down at the bottom here. Well, what I've done is simply right click and copy, and then depending on how you've laid out this whole section, you paste the container in here. So this is where I have the header copy. So I pasted it into this container. All right, this container. Once you've done that, it's up to you what you decide to do. I have chosen to have a scroll effect of transparency. So this is actually transparent at this point, and as you scroll up, you can see that it changes color to suit the other header, or it did at least. I've been playing in the tutorial. So to do that, you would select the container, go along to advanced, oh no, I'm sorry, go along to style, scrolling effects, and transparency. And just for your reference, I've got this set to 64 and 100 fade in. Now you can see that a bit more prominently if I change the background of the container. And now we can see if I publish this and go to the front, obviously on the site I was going for a gradient background, very subtle. But if you're looking for the awesome hero effect image, look at how this all comes into play. That's really lovely. And then we have the navigation coming in at the bottom there. And even better, it brings in some background color so that when you are scrolling, you're able to see the actual menu items. So that's the solution I thought really suited the this recent project, and I much prefer that as a user experience than having the cliched now hamburger menu and people having to look in order to see what's behind there. I think it's much better to display navigation, at least primary navigation, as a priority on that first page and above the fold, and I feel like this did a good job for that. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you think about hero sections and hamburger menus and proper conversion on the page and that tension between aesthetic and conversion design. I'd love to know your thoughts on that. In the meantime, like and subscribe. And I should say that I'm right now updating my Udemy course to be in line with all of the advancements that Elementor have brought out in 2024, including the top editor interface. So if you're looking for an up-to-date Udemy course about how to get into web design, learn particulars on visual hierarchy, typography, and just go into all of those different aspects. We create a brochure website, an e-commerce site, and look at how to embed media onto the page. So if that's of interest to you, pop along to the description in this video and follow that link for more information. Okay, again, like and subscribe, and I will catch you later.